Well, when it comes to growing beans and peas, of course there are so many different traditions about wigwams or some kind of framework so they can grow up. This particular arrangement here I bought and it's very handy, but unfortunately not that available. It's basically like a tent pole and it comes apart so it can be stored away in the winter, sink it into the ground, and out of it come these stay ropes really that, like tent pegs, are fixed down, and around the ropes then can be supported the broad beans or the mange too, or in my case here I'm going to be planting runner beans, but you don't have to, of course, wait until you can find something like this. Bamboos, or traditionally in old gardens, hazel rods were used, and we don't probably have a large supply of hazel rods nowadays. So the bamboos that are bought in garden centres can also be made up as a wigwam arrangement. Now they could be just tied at the top, which would be fine, and in fact the taller the better, certainly for runner beans. They grow 6-7 foot maybe, but the principle of it is the same regardless of what height you have. And of course the same goes for sweet pea or any of those type of climbing ropes, climbing plants. This arrangement here is really just a replacement for a bit of string, to be honest, but it does allow you to get a slightly taller wigwam, and it's spaced out a little easier once you have the bamboo going through the holes that are specially made. Well, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Essentially it's a wigwam that allows the plants to grow up. Of course you could also put string, I know, as people do, around, which also gives another something for the plant to hold on to. In the olden days they used to have an idea that you put 7 around, even though there was space for 8, because they were so tall they'd be going up maybe 7 or 8 feet, and it allowed you to go inside the wigwam to pick off any of the beans or peas that are hanging down on the inside. But I think in our case we'll manage in a small garden to work out how to pick the beans once we have them. Well, you can see a number of plants here. These are runner bean plants. They were sown the second week of April, so they're about 3 weeks growing away in a windowsill. Over the last number of days, mind you, during the day I have put them outside to just give them a bit of a flavour of the real world, if you like, harden them off, and taking them in at night in case there might be a little bit of frost, because they're quite sensitive. But we are now first week of May, hopefully over the worst of the weather, and it's quite sheltered here, so I'm confident enough that we'll get a good crop if we plant them now. Wigwam is all set up, so I just need to place the plants where they're going to go, so I get an idea first of all where they're going to go, and secondly then how many holes I have to dig to plant them. Right, well, we have our places for each of the pots, and all it needs now really is just to transfer them from their pot into the hole. You see a nice root system that's formed there, so that should give them a start. And then they should wrap themselves around over time on the rope. Well, we have all 8 pots planted, so runner beans over time will start to grow up these ropes. And all we need now is just to give them a good start with water